It's Monday, February 11. As we head into a new week, here are the stories making today's news. House-to-house registration takes about 6 months to complete, and the life of the current voters list comes to an end in April 2019. So, therefore, house-to-house registration is inevitable once this time comes, DPI's Director Imran Khan highlighted during a recent interview.
The director noted that if the CCJ upholds the December 21 vote, elections will then be called at a time when the Guyana Elections Commission is prepared and ready to hold elections. While more than $3 billion has been provided for house-to-house registration, no money was allocated for the hosting of elections, which will cost several $billions.
Monies were budgeted, however, for house-to-house registration to allow for a clean voters list. It is known that tens of thousands of dead persons remain on the old voters list, which is heavily bloated.
According to GCOM, house-to-house registration will require 6 months to be completed, and the life of the current voters list comes to an end in April 2019.
So therefore, house-to-house registration is inevitable once this time comes.
The director says, despite the leader of the opposition calling for the resignation of the president and the government, Guyana cannot be left leaderless.
For this government to resign and leave the country leaderless would be irresponsible and a dereliction of duty and a betrayal of those who voted it into office.
After the December 21 vote, there were concerns regarding the motion and its validity. It was stated at the 111th sitting of the National Assembly by the Speaker of the House, Dr. Barton Scotland, that the consequences of the motion will be decided on January 3, 2019. However, upon its resumption, the Speaker had explained that he had doubts as to the number requirements under the Constitution and recommended that the matter be placed before the court for complete and final settlement. For InfoHub, Rebecca Ganesh.
Still on court matters, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams has filed a stay of execution on the January 31 ruling by the Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George. On behalf of the Attorney General, the summons was filed by Solicitor General Nigel Hawke, Deputy Solicitor General Deborah Kumar, and Assistant Solicitor General Beverly Bishop Cheddi. More details on this story can be found on our website and social media page. The Ministry of Public Infrastructure is moving ahead with the construction of a car park, a market, and a second entrance to the East Bank Demerara community of Diamond.
The projects will be carried out in 3 phases, Ministry of Public Infrastructure David Patterson said in a Facebook post on Sunday. The ministry has already tendered out for Phase 1, which will see the construction of a market and taxi stand in the village. Following Phase 1, Phase 2 will take effect and will see the extension of the road to First Avenue and beyond. Phase 3, which will go to tender in the third quarter of 2019, will see the extension of the existing roads to the East Coast, or the East Bank Bypass Road. According to Minister Patterson, with the construction of the Diamond Entrance Overpass not being realized in 2017, the government had to continue to seek alternatives. In September 2017, the ministry had announced that the plans to construct the country's first vehicular overpass had to be cancelled. Minister Patterson said that the construction could not have materialized since there was not enough space for the overpass to end. He explained that the land was sold by the previous government to a private individual. With the help and cooperation of the Demerara Distillers Limited, he said the government was able to access lands for the car park, market, and a second entrance to Diamond. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
The height of the rainy season is said to be the worst for hinterland roads, and the government has recognized the urgency for repairs. Felicia Valenzuela spoke with Minister of Natural Resources, Raphael Trotman.
Rehabilitation and construction of the Itabali to Puruni Road should commence within the coming weeks, according to the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. Responsibility for this specific roadway falls under the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, GGMC, However, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure says it appreciates the urgency for repair. This view has been seconded by Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman, who recently visited Madian Region 8. During the visit, the issue of derelict roads was raised by miners and other villagers from the Madi community.
Roads being, of course, hinterland roads in the height of rainy season, very difficult to maintain, but we're reminded that come hell or high water, night or day, we do have a responsibility to get them fixed. I know the Peroni Road is an issue, the Lethem Road is an issue, and we are working to get them done as quickly as we can.
Minister Trotman added that government was working quickly to get them done. The Natural Resource Minister says he would expect that the very complainers who also use the roads will assist in not further damaging it.
We do expect as well that the very complainers who are also users will help us, because trucks are being overloaded with too much fuel, and even when the road starts to go bad, instead of easing back on its use, I think some truck drivers are proceeding without any regard for the road and its state. So we have a dual responsibility, both the users, the miners, the loggers, as well as the government, to ensure that the roads are kept open.
The Ministry of Natural Resources will work along with the Road Services Division of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure and the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, GGMC, to get the roads upgraded in the shortest possible time. The Ministry of Public Infrastructure, via press release, also reiterated its commitment in lending its assistance and working with the GGMC in having the roadway, especially the Itabali to Peroni Road, addressed as a matter of priority. Reporting for InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
Calls for a house-to-house registration continue, this time from residents of Lethem and Region 3, respectively.
Residents on the west bank of Demerara took to the streets in a peaceful protest outside the GCOM regional office in Port Royne. They remained adamant in their calls for house-to-house registration before facilitating any form of elections.
The electoral list is fundamental to the democratic process that we call national and regional elections. Unless the list is sanitized, then our people of this country will be disenfranchised. We cannot afford that.
McAllister further threw her support behind ensuring the rights of those youths who would have since become eligible to vote.
We have persons who just turned 18, persons who will soon turn 18, who must have the opportunity to exercise that democratic right. It is their right. And I think it would be an absurdity for us to go into these elections without giving our youths a chance to vote.
Meanwhile, in Lethem, in the Region 9 district, chairman of the APNU, Carlton Beckles, led a similar protest. Beckles strongly believes that the voters' list has been contaminated. He said this became evident following the last local government elections.
I would have found that in constituency 2, there were 306 persons registered to vote to an open address, which is Lethem, Tapachingo, Central Rupununi. That address does not have any lot number. And within that address, 306 persons were down to vote at that address in one constituency. It simply means that the list is contaminated. And we are here this morning to voice our concern, to support our party that the list is contaminated, and nothing less than house-to-house registration we will go for.
Monday's actions taken in Regions 3 and 9 are the continuation of protests around the country by supporters of the government calling for house-to-house registration. Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
Still to come, security measures for UG discussed following recent bomb threats. Civil aviation authorities signed 16 agreements, and Chutney and Calypso artists move forward to the finals. These and more when we return.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
Welcome back. The University of Guyana has indicated that there will be an enforcement of improved security measures in light of the recent bomb threats made on Tuesday and Wednesday at university's Turkine campus.
In light of the bomb threats made against the university on Tuesday and Wednesday last, the tertiary institution will be implementing additional improved security measures. These assurances were made at a press briefing to discuss the university's emergency preparedness.
Mindful of the experiences of Tuesday and Wednesday, we recognize that we were not in an adequate preparation mode.
Professor Griffith noted that following the threats, some of the security protocols to be executed will be the presentation of identification badges at security checkpoints and proper vehicular identification systems.
And so we'll be introducing a few measures. They will run for 2 weeks in the first instance, after which we'll do an evaluation, make modifications as appropriate.
Additionally, Deputy Commissioner and Crime Chief Lyndon Alves explained that the investigation into the student who was recently charged in relation to the bomb threats is ongoing.
Ms. Jafar Ali is scheduled to, or should be in court as we speak, to answer to a charge of improper use of public telecommunication system.
Consequent to the unprecedented experience, the new security measures will be implemented as early as this Wednesday. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
The Guyana Civil Aviation Authority, GCAA, has signed 16 air services agreements coming out of the ICAO Air Services negotiation event held last year in Nairobi, Kenya from December 10 to 14. A team led by Director General of the GCAA, Lieutenant Colonel Egbert Field, and Director for Air Transport Management, Shahid Suleiman, conducted meetings which resulted in the agreements being initialed and memoranda of understanding signed. The pacts are provisionally applied, allowing the airlines from signatory countries to commence flights to Guyana in keeping with the conditions outlined in the ASA's pending ministerial approval. Guyana also inked a Code of Sharing agreement with Australia and a technical cooperation agreement with Ghana for the exchange of knowledge and technical expertise in the area of civil aviation. Further details can be found on our website and social media page. The head of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Bino, today announced that based on indications from the oil and gas operators, there will be additional oil exploration drilling in the Orinduk, Kanuku, and Corentyne blocks.
Is the acceleration in the drilling program going forward. Thus far, the focus has been on the Stabroek block and what Exxon has been doing. Based on indications from other operators, we expect one field to be drilled in the Orinduk block by Tulu, one more in the Kanuku block by Repsol, and another in the Corentyne block by CGX, with the latter two using what is popularly known as jackups.
Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Bino, speaking at a press briefing today at the Ministry of the Presidency. Dr. Bino also says that the potential for acceleration and exploration drilling in the Kanji area is currently being proposed and is under discussion. He says that the department continues to work closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to ensure that these intended areas are within Guyana's waters.
What we have been doing continually from the time the department was established, any drilling activities that are occurring, we tend to consult with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to ensure that these are within Guyana's waters.
The Stabroek block exploration by ExxonMobil continues to turn out successes above normal industry levels with the 11th and 12th discoveries at the Tilapia 1 and Hayamara 2 last week. As a result, Dr. Bino noted that Guyana surpassed the estimated amount of 5 billion oil equivalent barrels. Sonika Thorne, InfoHub.
Over the weekend, the contestants in the chutney, soca and calypso competitions clashed to see who would advance to the finals.
At the Linden Georgetown Municipal Bus Park, reigning soca monarch Brandon Hardin faced stiff competition from both the experienced and first-time contestants in a night of electrifying and colorful upbeat performances. Hardin told InfoHub he's confident he will retain the title.
This year competition has gone to a new level, and as a Guyanese, I'm proud to see that that's happening, but there can only be one winner, and I'm vying to retain my crown, so I want to urge everybody that's coming for the crown, to be careful because I'm going to defend with all my heart, you know what I mean?
On the same day, in the East Berbice Quarantine No. 53 Union Village community, residents were begging for more as those competing in the bank's Calypso Monarch lit the stage afire, with their riveting performances highlighting social and political issues, among others. 10 have advanced to the finals, including the recently crowned Junior Calypso Monarch, Jamal Stewart, a first for the region. Meanwhile, at the Bath Settlement Center, also Region 5, on Sunday, 12 chutney contestants went head-to-head to gain a spot in the finals of the Chutney Monarch competition. Organizer Roshini Buhudu Prasad said while the contestants laid it bare for this round, those going forward will be saving for the finals. She noted the creativity and initiative took by contestants with their use of props and backup dancers.
I know for the semifinals round, they don't bring their A game, so to speak, because they saved the best for the finals. But I'm actually very impressed to see all of them have backup dancers. And some of them even went as big as doing the props. For example, Chandrabal Natu, MASH 49, the team song for this year. He came out with a big prop, and that was really, it shows how much effort they put into their work. And even the costumes that they wore themselves, the bigger picture, they all tried to use the colors of the flag and be true patriots in the end of the day.
Fans hoping to see these big showdowns and cheer for their favorite artists can check out the Bank's Calypso and Carib Soca Monarch finals at the Durban Park on February 15th and 16th respectively. Finals for the Bank's Chutney Monarch competition will be held on February 17th at the Anna Regina Community Center. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
Before we leave, here is a reminder to check out the Steel Band Panorama at the Theatre Guild and the National Art Exhibition at the National Art Gallery Castellani House on Thursday, February 14. That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, like and subscribe to our Facebook page for notifications. You can also follow us on Instagram for updates and visit our website at dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.